Hi, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Bridget Burns,
And I'm Jeff Salinga.
and after more than 2 decades of advising college presidents,
And more than 2 decades about writing about them and more recently advising them, we are putting our heads together to create a unique spotlight, amplifying the best of our field.
we know that Mondays can be super hard, especially right now, and we know that leadership in higher education is rare. Therefore, we're going to use this moment to elevate and amplify the best of our field who are navigating this challenge in real time.
We're going to gather their insights, advice, and suggestions to support students and drive change no matter what is happening. This is Weekly Wisdom.
All right.
Bridget?
Well, thanks. This is exciting for folks who are watching at home. This is going to be our first day doing this, and we have an episode later today. But we want to give you a little preview of what to expect. So first, Jeff, you have had a long and varied career interacting with college presidents as a journalist, as an advisor, but also now leading an effort to try and actually create a talent pipeline for future presidents. So I'm curious about what you're hoping to get out of this.
Well, I'm just very curious about how presidents are leading right now. I think this is going to be a moment in time right now that colleges and universities are going to come out of this crisis in very different ways. And I think that the types of leaders we were looking for over the last 10 years are going to differ for the types of leaders we're going to look for the next 10 years. And so I'm really kind of curious about how college and university presidents are thinking about the future, because I think it will tell us a lot about what we need to look for in our next generation of leaders. So Bridget, what are you looking to get out of it?
Well, I have my experience supporting university presidents began, I've sat kind of in various seats around the table. When I was 22 years old, I was on my first presidential hiring committee. Shortly thereafter, I was involved in my first non-renewal of a college president when I was on a board of directors. Then I went on to be a chief of staff for a 7-university system. So I was advocating for them in the legislature, and then spent a year following Michael Crow around. And now I work with 11 college and presidents and chancellors around the country. So I've kind of like sat in these various spots, and the clearest thing I see is just how widely misunderstood this position is, how incredibly difficult it is, and how we need far greater empathy for the people who are filling these roles. We need people who are true leaders to aspire to these positions, not just for the trappings, because the trappings are simply not worth it. I've seen firsthand the lifestyle you have to lead. It is so challenging. And in the midst of this, where no college president created COVID, and the complexity changes by the day, I feel like we need people to better understand what real leadership looks like in these kind of roles, how they can better support presidents and chancellors, and how they can have greater empathy and support them to be successful. So that's what I'm hoping, is that people will have more of a concrete understanding of the role and how they can show up in the best way possible to enable their institutions to survive and thrive. So that's...
And speaking of Michael Crow, we will have him on live for our first episode this afternoon. And so I hope you'll join us later today. See you then.
Yeah. Thanks. See you, everybody.